Hello everybody, today I'm going to talk about Microsoft Teams and how we can use it at CNM. With Skype for Business going away in June of 2021 completely, the people over at Microsoft recommended Microsoft Teams. And just kind of an update, about a month ago Brightspace announced that Teams is going to have a widget inside Brightspace. Actually, it's there now. So I'm going to do this a little differently. I'm going to start this as a little bit of how the students can find tutoring through Microsoft Teams and Blackboard a little bit. I know there's other videos on Blackboard, but I'm just going to touch on it a little bit. And then after that, I'm going to go into a little more advanced things with Teams that we could use this for. I think with the two, Brightspace and Teams, I think that'd be a great combination. I think you'll see what I mean once we get into it. Let's go ahead and get into the CNM website. The first thing a student would do would type in ACE and hit search. And it's usually the first one that comes up here, Assistance Centers for Education. And you would scroll on down. And there's two links. First one is the Blackboard, and the second one's Teams. We want to do the second one. It's going to take you to this. And you want to download the Windows app. This is the desktop app. This is fine, it would work, but this is the one you want to do. I've already got it, so I'm going to close this. And I'm going to go over to my Microsoft Teams here I got on my desktop. And if you were to download this from what the link I just showed you, this is what you would see. I'm going to go ahead and sign in with my CNM login. This is already connected to Office 365. We already have this in our suite platform, so we might as well be using it to its fullest potential because it is up and running. This is a good way to show you how long it takes for things to log up and load up, all that stuff. Okay, so here is your basic Microsoft Teams platform homepage. These are your teams. This is your meat and potatoes over here. And here on the top you got posts. This is all your posts. This is what you're going to be talking to people. On the left-hand side you got activity on top. This will give you all the stuff that's been going on that involves you. You can pin the things you want up top or just leave it depending on how much activity you got going on. On the left-hand side is the chat where you could call anybody. Up here, this tiny little chat icon up here, you want to click that and you can put somebody's name in there. Click one of their names and you could video call them. But this is the main one we want to talk about right now. This is Teams. Over here you're going to have your teams, and if you've just joined one team, you're probably just going to see one team. Like our ACE Computer Help. And you're probably going to see the general Open Computer Lab and Request Tutoring Appointment. And you won't see these other teams because you won't be part of these teams. So it won't be that confusing for a student who has just joined. And plus you can read what it is and you can see the nice icon that tells you what it is. This is where our students will come to get help, Open Computer Lab. And when we send you a link to join our team, this is where you're automatically going to come. But if you want something in the future, that's what Request Tutoring Appointment is for. But if you want help right now, Open Computer Lab. Now every team comes with a general channel. And that's just for, general chat. We wanted to make a separate channel for the Open Computer Lab. So there's that and there's the Request Tutoring Appointment. Now, if somebody had called, as you can see down here, there is a little camera icon. you would just hit that and call whatever person is attached to that conversation, and you guys will do a video chat. Let's go down here to calendar. Now right now, this is connected to my Outlook. And the thing about like stuff like files, I'll come back to calendar, but let me hit files real quick. When you bring files into Microsoft Teams, you're not doubling the files, you're not making double files. These are actually the same files that are in SharePoint. They're just brought over. The path is just made. And you'll see that the SharePoint and Microsoft Teams, they talk to each other and they work together really well. Let's go back to calendar up here on the left-hand side. And here is our calendar, Monday through Saturday. Right now I'm doing a test meeting. I've probably got a few minutes left in this, so I want to go ahead and get to this right away. We're going to go back to some of the tutoring stuff, but I want to show what happens when you join a meeting. So this is tonight. Here's a meeting that's going on. I'm going to hit join. Now you're not going to see my camera here because I'm on this software being recorded on 2 different cameras, so I couldn't put it in here. But this is where your camera would be. There's a lot of really cool setups here. If I had my camera here, there'd be 3 dots, and you could even put different backgrounds behind me, so I could have like a beach setting behind me or something like that. You know, that's all just fancy stuff. But right here, I'm going to go ahead and join this meeting. And I am there. Now the thing I like about this is if I go over here to the left-hand side and hit Teams, I'm still connected to my chat, and I'm still maybe having a tutoring session with somebody right now, and maybe we're talking about some kind of assignment that he or she has. We can still come down here and have a conversation. I can go and chat. I could go down and say, hello, this is a test. Can you send me that assignment? And this person would get it and respond. But we're still up here connected, which is what I really like about this software, is you can do both at the same time, and you get a lot of room over here for your texts and pictures. You can put, you know, you can say, oh, that was a great job, I really like that. And over here you hit send. You can do GIFs. Here's a GIF. There's that one right there. You can do, oh, stickers. These are really cool. This is really neat. You can actually make your own meme. If you can find it. There's a meme. And you can put this, and let's learn Teams. There. Done. And we just made a meme. Really cool. Not necessarily totally necessary, but some cool stuff you can do. As you can see, I'm still on my meeting with somebody. I could bring it full screen, or I could take it back. I can go to chat. I can go to my activity. I can go to my calendar, and we're still in our chat. We can go to files, and we can talk about files. Of course, the share function is really awesome. You can share all of your screens. You can share a whiteboard, of course. You can share files. I'm going to go back to chat. Okay, I'm going to hang up this phone call. So that was very nice. Okay, that was good practice. Okay, now let's bring this out. Let's go back over to Blackboard. So this is our Assistance Centers for Education webpage that we searched for up here. And I hit Teams. This time, I'm going to hit Blackboard. And of course, you sign in. Self-enrollment. Then you just submit. You are enrolled in the class. I am going to cancel because I'm already in this class. I'm going to come up to my courses. I'm in a couple of courses right now, but this is actually my tutoring. So this is what you would see, even though I am a tutor. This is what a student would basically see. Up here is this page. Virtual drop-in lab is where we're going to go. Here's where you want computer-related questions. You just open any of these and ask your question. If you want to send a message, this is a great way to do it. Create a message right here. Hit your to, subject, put your question here and submit down here in your lower right hand corner. And that'll go to all of the tutors, and you will definitely get answered. CNM email, if you want to email all instructors that are using that for that class, or you can select certain tutors that maybe you like. But this is what I wanted to show you. I don't want to go through the whole Blackboard because I know there's other videos out there. But over here on the left-hand side, there's a virtual drop-in lab. I'm going to hit that. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to have to create a session real quick, I guess. Test session. And I'm going to join this session. Okay, excellent. One thing I really wanted to say a little extra is that over here on the right hand side, you see where I clicked these arrows? That's where you can chat with us. If you somehow don't have a microphone and you're not thinking that your camera's working, and you think, well, here's your camera. I'm not going to go ahead and I'm not going to join that session because my video is not working, my audio is not working. You can still join the session. You come over here in the dialogue. Up here you can select who you want, but you just select everyone so that we all who are in the chat. Usually there's about 4, there could be 7 people in there at one time. I say, hello, can you help with my math homework? And there it goes. There's the question. And there would be 4 of us in here at least. And we could all try to answer your question at once, or one person can go and do a video session with you. But that's one thing I wanted to point out, that even if you don't think your video audio is working, go ahead and do the virtual drop-in. Come in and say hi. If you do this, we'll figure out some way to help you, and whether it's through, maybe you like Zoom, maybe you like WebEx, maybe you like Microsoft Teams, and maybe you want to do Blackboard and stay here, which would be great. But right here, don't be afraid to go into the virtual drop-in lab. If all this you're not so sure about the questions, you're not sure about all this stuff, go into the virtual drop-in lab and we'll help you. All right, let's go back to Teams. And here's just the announcement that Brightspace is going to be using Teams. Just wanted to show that real quick. Well, let's go back to Teams. And we're back. Okay. Now when you're in Teams, and let's say you're an administrator or your staff, and I'm going into extra stuff here. This isn't necessarily tutoring. This is extra stuff. One thing that's really great about this platform is if maybe you had somebody in your department that had all the SharePoint passwords and they're gone. They're not in the organization anymore. And maybe getting a hold of IT or whatever department to make you a new SharePoint page might sound like too much trouble or a little bit more of a daunting task. This program actually creates SharePoint pages, which is a really great addition. So, like this media team that I created, if I went to General Channel here, and I took my cursor and went up to these three dots options in the top right hand corner, and I come down here to open in SharePoint, basically this is a blank SharePoint page that's been created, and I haven't done really anything with this page, but it can, and you don't have to, but you know, this is a lot. There's a lot to Microsoft Teams, but that's one thing you can do is this can actually create a whole SharePoint, a new SharePoint page that is connected to Microsoft Teams and can be used for video, all kinds of stuff, of course, and files, but they are connected. Now, let's say you already have a SharePoint page. You've already worked on it for years, and you don't want to make a new one. Up here in the top, there's this plus button. You hit the plus, and you could search for whatever app you want, but it's already here, SharePoint. And here's, you could add any of these that you wanted. And I won't do it now, but you could actually add a SharePoint page that you already have to the top. Now, speaking of the top, up here, posts. This is what we're looking at. Files. Now, this is all relating to that team. If I'm in a chat with a certain person and I hit files, then the files for me and that person that I'm talking during that chat is here. Over here on the left-hand side, there's another files. That's a whole general files for you and all your teams. Will all be here. Okay. So that's about it. I didn't want to get too far into it today. I wanted to try to make this as short as possible. If you've got any questions, especially about tutoring, because that's what I do. That's what we do here at ACE. Here is our Open Computer Lab. Now we want to get some more students in here. We want to get some more students in our team, both in Blackboard and Microsoft. If you've got any questions, if you need any help, feel free to call me or text me or an email so that we can help you get through the semester. And the thing about the teams is that I think it would also be a great place for us to learn Brightspace, because a lot of times you can't learn a platform when you're in a platform. I think this is a platform that would help us learn Brightspace. We could talk about Brightspace in this platform. I'm sure it's a lot like Blackboard, where it's very, you know, it's made for a classroom. And people who use Brightspace and Blackboard have asked to have teams integrated, so there must be a need for it. If you've got any ideas, things that I didn't cover, things you want me to cover, there's a lot more to it. But I didn't want to get too far into it, too complicated of a tutorial. That way we make it as simple as possible. But let's learn Teams. If you guys got any questions, give me a call, send me an email, and let's do this. Thanks.